everyone. On behalf of Speaking Tiger and Rajkumar Prakashan, it's a pleasure to welcome you all here this evening. This evening should have been a sad occasion, as one would expect for a book being published posthumously. The author Ananya Mukherjee lost her battle with cancer last November. But no one who reads Tales from the Tail End, the journal she started writing while she was undergoing her treatment, can come away from this book feeling sad. It is not that Ananya makes light of an illness that is now so widespread that almost all of us in this room would have been touched by it in some way, through a friend, a member of one's family, perhaps even oneself. But it is Ananya's unique way of confronting the big C, of finding lightness in the darkest moments, that makes one smile more often than cry when you read her book. Yes, there was dukh, to use Ananya's words. When she first got to know she had cancer, she was, as she says, stunned and disappointed in herself. But she quickly recovered her sense of humor, as one of the comments which her friend Imtiaz showed me from someone who had read the book and who was a friend of Ananya's. Beer was her favorite drink and humor was in her blood. And that sense of humor pervades this book, comparing her human hair wig that refused to do what she wanted to herself, headstrong, fancy-free, and charitraheen. Remarking on how her relationship with her husband Shantanu dramatically improved when it became a long-distance one, when he remained behind in Jaipur and she had to go to Bombay for her treatment. There was dard, plenty of it, as she went through multiple chemo sessions. But again, she says wryly, she would still put heartbreak and bikini wax on the top of her list of most painful things. There are poignant moments when she talks wistfully about things that a cancer patient dreams of, all the things that they will do when they get well. The photographs saved on their smartphones of themselves as they were and not as they are now. But most of all, there is hope. As Ananya says when she describes one of her better days, when she is able to walk noisily around the house, throw some attitude, scold a husband, laugh with a friend. A day of life is still life. A simple lesson that we all forget as we rush through life. Tales from the Tail End is a book of hope, courage, and wisdom, not only for those facing a life-threatening situation, but for all of us who want to live life on our own terms. We're very happy that the Hindi edition of the book is being also released today, and I'd now like to request Nirupam of Rajkumar Prakashan to come up and say a few words.
नमस्ते। अनन्या मुखर्जी की इस किताब में एक चैप्टर है, मेरे शुभचिंतकों को मेरे लिए क्या लाना चाहिए। वो 5 फरमाइशें रखती हैं एक एक कर, जिनमें चौथी फरमाइश है, मुझे कोई अच्छी कहानी सुनाओ। इस ख्वाहिश या कि फरमाइश के बारे में तफसील से बताते हुए वो लिखती हैं कि जब मैं खिड़की के बाहर देखती आहें नहीं भर रही होती हूँ, तो माँ मुझे लाइब्रेरी की मोटी सी किताब से समकालीन बांग्ला कहानियाँ पढ़कर सुनाती हैं। आगे अनन्या बताती हैं कि मैं उनके हिलते होठों से निकलते शब्दों को ध्यान से देखती रहती हूँ कि मुझसे कुछ छूट न जाए। अनन्या मुखर्जी की इस डायरी को पढ़ते हुए हमारे साथ भी ठीक यही होता है, ठीक यही कि हम उनके शब्दों के बीच किसी छूट न जाने वाले अर्थ को भी तलाशते चलते हैं। दरअसल अच्छी कहानी सुनाओ कहकर वो हमें अपनी ज़िंदगी की सबसे खूबसूरत कहानी देकर चली गई हैं। इसे आपको सबको क्यों पढ़ना चाहिए, यह बताने से बेहतर है आपसे या किसी से भी यह पूछ लूं कि आप जीवन को सबके बावजूद कैसे जीना चाहते या चाहती हैं। सबके जीवन में यह कैसे का पेंच कुछ अलग तरह से ढीला या अधिक कसाव के साथ कसा हुआ है। सब उस कैसे को कोल्हापुरी सैंडल की तरह पहने घूम रहे हैं, जिसे पहनकर ज़्यादा दूर चलना आरामदेह तो नहीं है, लेकिन कुछ अलग होने का एहसास ज़रूर है। आप अगर जीवन कैसे की गुत्थी से उलझे उलझी हुई हैं तो इस डायरी उर्फ किताब को ज़रूर पढ़ें। इसी किताब से एक टुकड़ा चलते चलते सुनाना ज़रूर चाहूँगा। अनन्या लिखती हैं, हालांकि अपने हिस्से का रोना तो जायज़ ही है, फिर भी मेरा यह विश्वास है कि जैसे शोक का उचित समय होता है, उतना ही उससे झटके से बाहर निकलने का भी मतलब होता है। अपने ऊपर दया अंतहीन अंधे कुएं के जैसी होती है। मैं अब इसमें से रेंग रेंग कर बाहर निकल आई हूँ और सारे घर में बड़बड़ करती हुई इधर उधर घूम रही हूँ, कंधे पे शॉल डाले आनंद के राजेश खन्ना की तरह। लगे हाथ 200वीं बार पतिदेव को समझाया कि तौलिए को कैसे सही सिरा ऊपर रखते हुए तह करना है। मैं अपने दुख से उबर चुकी हूँ। क्या मुझे दर्द होता है? अनन्या की किताब की खूबसूरती के बहुत सारे लेयर हैं, उसमें से एक लेयर अब, क्या मुझे दर्द होता है? हाँ, क्यों नहीं। ऐसी बीमारी में तरह तरह के दर्द साथ चले आते हैं, पर सही अर्थों में दिल टूटने और बिकनी वैक्सिंग जितना दर्द नहीं होता है। ये किताब कैसे शुरू हुई? जून 2018 में भुवनेश्वर में इम्तियाज़ जी, जो कि अनन्या मुखर्जी के बहुत करीबी दोस्तों में से एक हैं, रवि और मुझे भुवनेश्वर में एक दोपहर में बता रहे थे कि उनकी दोस्त हैं अनन्या मुखर्जी और उनको कैंसर हो गया है और वो फेसबुक पर आजकल कुछ कुछ पोस्ट लिखती हैं जिसमें वो अपनी बीमारी के बारे में लिखती हैं। और हम लोग मज़े में उनके बोलने को सुन रहे थे कि वो क्या बताना चाह रहे हैं हमें। जैसे जैसे वो बताते गए हम लोग गंभीर होते गए। फिर रवि ने कहा, मुझे वो ज़रा भेजना। अगले दिन इम्तियाज़ जी ने रवि को मेल किया, शायद मुझे भी, और रवि ने कहा कि ठीक है, ये किताब करते हैं, कॉन्ट्रैक्ट करो। और रवि ने कॉन्ट्रैक्ट ड्राफ्ट भेज दिया था ईमेल से, और इम्तियाज़ जी ने, जो कि वो पहले से अनन्या जी से कह रहे थे किताब लिखने को, वो मेल शेयर किया और अनन्या जी को कुछ जोश आया और उन्होंने लिखने की रफ्तार शायद बढ़ा दी। जून में हुई बातचीत 31 अक्टूबर को एक मकाम पर पहुंची और किताब के जो ड्राफ्ट है, वो पहला ड्राफ्ट या आखिरी ड्राफ्ट रवि के पास आया और उसके 18 दिन बाद 18 नवंबर को अनन्या इस दुनिया से चली गई। आज ये किताब आप सबके बीच है, हमारे बीच है, और हिंदी और अंग्रेजी दोनों भाषाओं में एक साथ ये आ रही है। हिंदी में उर्मिला गुप्ता जी और डॉक्टर मृदुल भसीन ने अनुवाद किया है इसका, प्रभात रंजन जी ने अनुवाद का संपादन किया है, और इसमें चित्र बहुत कथ्य के अनुकूल हैं और अच्छे हैं, खूबसूरत हैं, कवर भी लोगों को पसंद आ रहा है। लेकिन सबसे ख़ास बात है, अनन्या जैसे अपने डर से लड़ रही थी और अपनी ज़िंदगी को जैसे वो हर लम्हे को जी रही थी, उसे हर शब्द में महसूस कर पाना, देखना, वो ज़्यादा खूबसूरत है। थैंक्स, धन्यवाद।
Now for the formal unveiling of the book, may I ask Shantanu Basin to please come up, Mr. Ashok Maheshwari, Mrs. Mridula Basin, and our three panelists, Harmala Gupta, Sadia Dehlvi, and Pragya Tiwari.
सामने प्लीज, सामने सामने, ठीक है, यस सर।
Is a writer, a journalist, a sometime actor, a yoga teacher, a Dastangoi artist, and many other things besides. But he's also a very good friend of Ananya's family. Sunil, over to you.
Good evening, everybody. It's an absolute pleasure to be here. I wish it was a happier occasion, but then I don't think Ananya was one for moping about. Throughout this book, you get a feeling of never having met someone who was always cocking her snout at life, and as it turns out, at death. She never lost her sense of humor. It never deserted her. She never lost her sense of the absurd and situational humor. And it's my loss that I never knew her. But her spirit is unbounded and unfettered and free, and something I delighted in. I'd love to share it with you. The breast has become Kali. Those who know me well know that under a superficial veneer of dignity, I've always been flippant and borderline vulgar, downright cheap. The husband corrects me. Well, what to do? This is who I am. In my head, I've always referred to breasts as boobs, a part of the anatomy that was created for physical attraction, for pleasure and joy. I am the woman equivalent of, oh boy, cleavage. And you'll always find me giggling at rack jokes. For me, breasts have never held any more importance than that. When some of my friends became mums and their babies started photobombing them by grabbing their breasts just as the camera clicked, I relegated the breast to a role of motherly comfort, benign and nurturing. Now, I think of the breast as goddess Kali, and mine gone rogue, malignant and ravaging through my body in a terrible red rage, trying to take my life, unstoppable by any force. Maybe our eons-old attitude of patronizing the breast, ridiculing it and treating it like an object for pleasure or necessity has finally turned her into an angry marauder. The breast, as Kali, demands her rightful respect and dignity. Who knows? Only then she might stop her rampage. Khuddar and Diwar, not starring Amitabh Bachchan. In the hospital, I make many acquaintances. We spend several hours chatting about this and that, while getting chemoed, waiting for checkups, queuing for tests, etc. In these exchanges, many a time, my cancer comrades thrust their phones at my face. First, I think they're showing me their shiny new Xiaomi phones. I sing praises wholeheartedly. They give me disappointed looks. So I add an encouraging comment or two about Chinese manufacturing. Then I realize they're trying to show me something else. They are showing me their pre-cancer photos and videos when they had long hair, or just hair in the case of men. When they wore lipstick or had smart mustaches. Some women had them too. Photos of how well, healthy and active they looked. I wonder why they show me their photos when it obviously makes them a shade despondent. Then it strikes me. They are trying to show their past avatars as functional members of society with hair, eyebrows, jobs, egos, and physical strength. Over time, as our physical strength wanes, we become unable to fend for ourselves. Soon the world starts looking at us as infirm and dependent on doles, physical, emotional, and financial. Some think of us secretly as invalids, some not so secretly. It makes us reconcile to the reality that we need help. It strips us of our egos. Hence, my comrades carry their photos around. Photos from another lifetime. A family jauntily going off somewhere in a pack. A man laughing heartily, baring his fangs, who now has pipes sticking out of his mouth. A woman beaming confidently at a child's birthday party, complete with messy streamers and a crooked homemade cake. Now dependent for basic things like cooking food or having a bath. A man standing on a hillock in a striped sweater holding his wife's hand, hands that wheel him around now. To bridge this dashing past and despondent present, I come up with an idea. The hospital should pin identity cards on us, not with photos of us as we are now, but from our past when we were active and functional. It will help us feel better and improve other people's judgment of us. Like everyone else, I take time to accept this reality of my various inabilities. I try to run errands, pay bills, file insurance claims, work some, and throw some old-time attitude around. When my strength fails, caregivers try to tell me I shouldn't push myself. The husband adds that a toothless person shouldn't think of eating steak. I do a bit of yelling, asking everyone to back off with their arms and see how well I handle everything. Turns out, I'm a cat's whiskers no more. I'm just airy, penniless, proud, and now incapable of managing on my own. In the end, I buckle down and variously eat crow, humble pie, etc., but not before rolling my eyes and saying, मैं आज भी फेंके हुए पैसे नहीं उठाता. It's time for self-praise. Once upon a time, a lover had told me, before you, I have never met anyone with real pink lips. I'd immediately gloated and thought vaingloriously of my peaches and cream complexion for a long time after. Now the mirror looks back at me with ashen lips, sallow complexion, and sunken eyes. What do I have then? I ask. A sick person's pallor, the husband says helpfully. I give my trademark cold stare, and he goes back to his mobile game. Suddenly I think of my smile, and smile. It can still light up a room. Not like chandeliers anymore, no, and not a large room by any means, but in the company of that smile, you won't be groping in the dark for sure. What should my well-wishers bring me? I am forever grateful to my well-wishers and friends who send or bring me wonderful things. Yellow lilies brighten up my room. A bag of fruit brightens up my mother's mood. There's a silk stole that I drape around my arms now and then, even in this heat, just to feel beautiful. And a Dove gift hamper, which when opened, fills the room magically with the sweet smell of ek chauthai milk. And ever since I told another pal that I've stopped reading serious books, he thoughtfully gets me a stack of Cosmopolitan and Filmfare magazines, which I read cover to cover, to stay on top of the latest bedroom moves and Taimur Khan's latest airport looks. In this indulgent phase, I wonder what else I should ask my well-wishers to send me. 1. A fuzzy little feeling. Prolonged illness can make your soul dull. The weekly needles, the drab hospital colors, the bitterness in the mouth, the blank eyes of fellow cancer comrades, everything adds up to the growing dullness in the heart. As a counter, I've suddenly started enjoying everything that makes me feel warm and fuzzy. My friends' babies gurgling, throwing spitballs in the air, trying to eat their own hands and legs, and opening their toothless mouths to show off their brand new pink tongues warms the cockles of my heart. As much as sloppy dogs, smiling with all 42 teeth, goofing around, making a fool of themselves makes me happy on many a prickly day. 2. Your children's art. While my interest in horizontal helpless babies is fairly recent, I've always been fond of the vertical ones. Ones who can run, tell you their names when they are lost in the mall, ask for food when they're hungry, and can point where it hurts. These little ones are usually a delight, more so when you don't have to take them home with you. And I've always swelled with the pride of an aunt and the delight of a teacher when my friends or relatives' children make art. I pored thoughtfully over little Ishan's crayon drawing for me, wondering if the sun is squinting because it's hot, or if our heart really is a balloon. While little Kian's spirited narration of an enormous monster had me engrossed. Keep them coming. 3. Sell me some dreams. I have never been sold on dreams, and I've always patted myself for being hardcore practical. But now, when I can't walk for 15 minutes without getting tired, I want someone to tell me that I can make that road trip to Jaisalmer. Though bumpy, dusty roads where a wrong turn can lead to nowhere. When my lonely heart aches, I need to believe I'll be able to do that gondola ride in Venice under a bright blue sky, floating over water that's like green silk, an occasional window flashing a bunch of red roses while 1,000 blossoms bloom in my heart. When I call a colleague and hear they're out for lunch, I dream of rushing out with my workmates to the nearest biryani joint, laughing at some inside joke, flinging my bag hurriedly over my shoulder, heels clicking. More than any time ever, I need make-believe now. 4. Tell me a good story. I'm a sucker for stories. When not looking out the window and sighing, my mother reads me some contemporary Bangla short stories from a big, fat library book. There are stories of unrequited love, family dramas with a twist, crimes of passion, and tales of the unexplained. I carefully follow her mouth, spilling out the words, lest I miss something. Before I know, I take center stage in these dramas, fighting for the underdog, siding with the protagonist, crying for the fallen, and sighing with my mother when the stories end abruptly. So if you have a story to tell, I'm all ears. 5. Machar Jhol. At my core is Hangla Beto Bangali, greedy, rice-eating Bengali. Always aching for a good piece curry. After my surgery last year, a close friend from Pune went straight to the market, bought fish, cooked it, and drove 150 kilometers, bringing with him a piping hot pabra jol and some fried roi. Not a drop spilled on the way, and every drop nourished my soul. The memory of that afternoon still lingers. Drowsy and sated with fish and rice, the indignities of surgery forgotten, we had looked at the monsoon clouds gathering in the distance and chatted away all afternoon. As my list comes to a close, the husband quips, "You've forgotten the most important thing." To my wide-eyed stare, he says, "Money. Ask everyone to bring you some money, along with that fish curry or dreams or whatever else they're getting." Point noted, sir. That should give you a good tasting menu of the book. Don't stop, just pick it up. Thank you.
So now that Sunil has given you a taste of the book, I hope all of you will really buy it and buy it generously, because the proceeds of this book are going to the UV-CAN, the Yuvraj Singh Cancer Foundation, and the Muskan Foundation for Road Safety. So please buy generously. I'd now like to invite our panelists, Harmala Gupta, who's president of CanSupport and founder-president of Cancer Care India, Sadia Dehlvi, who is a writer and journalist, and Pragya Tiwari, who will be moderating the discussion, also a writer and an author.
Hello, everyone. Am I audible? Thank you. Hello, everyone, and a very good evening, and thank you for coming out in such large numbers. You've just had a sort of taste of what the, as Sunil said, of what the book is really like. What I can tell you about the book is that it affirms one's faith in the only two things that make this wretched planet habitable: humor and human spirit. However, it is not an easy read. And perhaps it's not an easy read because the teller of the story did not live to tell the tale. But nonetheless, she did tell the tale, and in doing so, left people, left all of us, left the readers who will read this book with a confidant and with a comrade and with a companion in the form of this memoir for whenever they are confronted and affronted by adversity, by disease, and by death. I hope you will buy the book and read it, because it really is worth every second that you spend on it and more. To talk a little bit more about the book, we have these wonderful speakers, and I'm going to get right to it, perhaps start with Sadia. As somebody who is in the throes of a battle that Ananya writes about, what is it that perhaps, if you could give us a sense of what is it that you most identified with when it came to this book?
Thank you, Pragya. But I do want to thank Renuka for having me here today. When she rang me up, I was actually diagnosed about a year ago, roughly 10 months ago, with the same breast cancer that had gone rogue. And so I'd had various rounds of chemo and therapy, and when Renuka called me, I was really, really quite bad, and I was trying to keep telling her, look, I don't think I can make it. I wasn't really sure if I was going to survive. Because the effect of the chemo was really getting to me. This was a strong chemo. And then, Alhamdulillah, after 3-4 sessions of that, I was actually tolerating it much better, and my PET scan shows that it's come down quite a lot, and I'm able to, I could come here quite easily. And so I'm happy to be here today. I'm happy to have met Ananya's husband, and I'm sure all her friends are here today. And so I never met Ananya, of course, but one does get a sense of her through the book, because even though it, as somebody who's is also battling the same disease, there's a lot that one does identify with, the PET scans and the doctors, the nurses not finding the veins, and the various emotions. You could start, even Ananya actually does start the book with just a bit of self-pity, but is able to get out of it very, very quickly. And then I think it's basically her relationships, her friendships, and family, and the love that she really does absolutely, that sustains her, supports her, and her uncanny, her great spirit to see humor in everything. And also what really I found wonderful was that her ability to find happiness in just watching a sunset or watching the monsoon rains, and and she's able to articulate that also quite well, that happiness is not really some sort of an abstract, but it's just moment to moment, and how one can really grab that moment and believe in it and live it to its full. And so that I found was a very inspiring part of the whole book, that that runs through. It's not just in one place, but you find it in the subtext again and again, where just small incidents that make her happy, and even if it's the reflections, or like Sunil was reading out, when she's talking, and Renuka mentioned she's talking to her wig, or or describing her breasts as Durga, or talking about the children, and the stories that her grandmother told her, the ghost stories. The tongue-in-cheek with the husband is very delightful. And there's a genuine, I found it very honest and very brave. You had asked me earlier that if I would want to write a cancer diary, and my publishers, the first thing, of course, the publisher, when she was supposed to meet her for another book, and then when she found out that I'd got cancer, she said, oh, you must write a diary. I said, no, I'm not so sure. I've done other books. I don't know if I want to really become somebody who's, I don't want to be remembered just for someone who wrote that book. I want to be remembered for the 40-50 years of work that I've done, and if at all, I'll write about it. At the moment, I spent the first few months very stunned, so it was just very overwhelming, and I didn't know how to react, how to respond. So if I do write, I'm not saying that one shouldn't write, but I think it's very brave to write, to open up that, because you're at your most vulnerable self. And so if I do write, I guess it'll be part of another book, which hopefully one day I'll write. There are, if you allow me, there are just a few things that I would like to actually read, which is a continuation of what I was just telling you. To be able to breathe, walk noisily, listen to a rooster crowing, scold a husband, laugh with a friend, and look at something so beautiful is in itself a miracle. This time, I'm not banking on the hope of a better tomorrow. I'm just glad to have had a beautiful spring day. A day of life is still life. You know, these are the kind of lines that are not just honest and very thoughtful, but also very inspiring. That, you know, that you just, every moment is so precious, and so there is, and how, you know, one should really try to enjoy it to its maximum. Living, she says, is nothing nothing really ends happily ever after. But if you come to terms with your own isolation, then paradoxically, it becomes immediately possible to find a friend. And friendship is also love. Love is another theme that I think also, love and friendship is what really sustains and nourishes Ananya throughout. And again, something on finding happiness is an unrealistic goal. This I really found very, very beautiful. Happiness is not a mountain you manage to climb one fine day and plant a flag on. You can't grasp happiness or store it in a jar to whiff morning, noon, and night. It is short-lived, occasional, transient, and heartbreaking when you lose it. Peace and contentment are attainable goals. Once you achieve them, they stay with you. They even sound good to the ears. So that's, and then this last little thing. Cancer has brought the focus on, if I have lived my life well, if I have lived my life YOLO, which apparently is some young slang for you only live once. Quite so, I conclude, I've always taken my own decisions, lived life as I pleased, made many mistakes, ill-informed choices, and have always been wiser in hindsight. The best part is I've had no one to blame, and faced with the consequence of my actions, I have been quite kind, loving, and forgiving towards myself. Forgiving oneself is really the hardest. I found when particularly faced with this disease, one tends to blame oneself so much that maybe I did this, maybe I did that, maybe, it's also, sometimes I also think it's God's divine punishment. And my brother kept saying, that's what everybody thinks, and it's not. But you do go into a kind of a self-audit and wonder where really you've gone wrong. What did I do to deserve this? Why me? So it takes a while and a lot of support, and to really from friends, and to realize that it's just a disease. It's not really something that you deserved, and it's all right, and hopefully it'll go away. So those are my thoughts.
Thank you for that, Sadia. I would want to come back on a couple of things you said, but before I do, one of the things that Ananya's book does wonderfully is normalize conversation around cancer. And that might sound, I don't know whether it sounds enough, but it really is. If that was the only thing that this book achieved, and it achieves a lot more, that would be enough. Given that we live in a country where there's still some sort of stigma attached to the disease. Harmala, would you like to talk a little bit about, from the time when you were diagnosed to now, the stigmatization of this disease? How has that journey been?
Well, I think that we've come quite a long way since then, and I'm talking about 30 years ago when I was diagnosed with my cancer. At that time, I remember we never talked much about cancer. As a matter of fact, when I was diagnosed and I was doing a PhD in Canada at the time, my first question was, Do we get cancer in India? Because I'd never met a cancer survivor. And then when I came back, I realized that it's your dirty little secret. You hide it. And you hide it because society isn't ready for it. You may be ready, but the people around you are not ready. It's tough. It's hard. And as a consequence, but now I'm very happy to know that we're having something like this today, which shows that we're talking about it now. We're breaking the silence. And really, when I started the first support group, that was my intention. And I thought as a survivor, I had a responsibility now to break that silence and come out and tell people, I had cancer, so what? A lot of people get all kinds of illnesses, and they're treated and you get over it. And so why all this hype and drama around cancer particularly? Why should I be labeled now as the cancer survivor? Cancer's let go of me, as someone said, can you let go of it? So I think from that point of view, the stigma is less now. We have a walk every year and we invite people to join that walk, to be visible. We have a lap of honor for people with cancer because they are people with courage. They are people who have a lot to contribute to society. And it's nice to have their families part of it because cancer, I feel, is not a disease of an individual. It affects everyone around that person. The family, and everyone plays a role here. So it's lovely for the family too to feel supported and that they have people around them. So that's really been the intention to kind of break that silence, and I'm happy that we are changing. I mean, it's lovely to have Sadia here. It's lovely to see people in the audience who are not afraid to come with their lovely headgear and say, okay, I don't have hair, so what? In fact, when I was getting my cancer, I remember in my treatment in Toronto, I saw all these youngsters walking around with shaven heads anyway. I used to call it the cancer look. I said, I'm really in fashion these days. So you have to make light of it. You have to put it in perspective. I think we have to realize it's nothing personal. You talked about the guilt.
No, I said, I think many generations ago, some at least in my grandmothers and grandmothers, I mean, you were very lucky, but cancer was also associated with something that had absolutely no treatment. And I think that was one of the things people just went hush about it, because every time, cancer meant sure death at one point. And that was the perception, at least, that even, like you said, in Bollywood and films, and, when you wanted to, if somebody dying, they just had cancer. And so cancer was something that people were just scared of, I think.
But Sadia, we're all terminal.
Yes,
that's the point. Yes. No one came here with a guarantee.
Absolutely.
So that's what I tell people. Don't feel sorry for me. In fact, I'm being taken care of.
But I think
doctors, so I think we have to face this ultimate reality. We've been forced to face it. Perhaps earlier than others.
Yeah, but I think things are changing. I think younger generation today is not really. My mother got very, very upset when I put my my bald head on Facebook, and people started calling up, and I didn't particularly say I had cancer, but I think people presumed, and since I have lots of cousins, they started calling up my mother, and God, she was furious with me. She said, "You remove that picture now. What is the need to tell anybody? There is no need." And even now I go around head without, sometimes without my hat at home. She gets very upset. She says, "Jaldi dhako, jaldi dhako." So I said, "What's wrong? It's hot. It's all right, Mom." She says, "Nahi, bas jaldi se dhak do." So I think it's also a generational thing. Things are changing and people are becoming more open about it. And I don't think there's anything going around with the bald head. Men have no hair.
But tell me, is it a cultural thing?
Many of them.
We tend to hide any illness. Generally, there's that tendency, don't tell. Don't let it go out of the family. And I'll tell you another reason for it. I realize that women with breast cancer are very concerned about their daughters. Because we have arranged marriages in this country. And so is that in some way going to affect their daughters? That was often the question. So they didn't want to be too visible, didn't want to be out there. And this is the problem, I'm afraid, even with young people with cancer. When it comes time to marriage, often some of them are faced with a real dilemma because their parents don't want them to tell. And they said, how can we start a relationship on an untruth? We have to tell, and they're torn. So here again I say, that there is an obligation to a large extent to society, to people around, to the government, to employers, whatever, to help and aid people to again normalize and become part of society. And let me tell you, these people have a great deal to give. You read this book and you realize what wisdom there is in this person. And you have young people who have now had to suddenly grow up, and they have so much to contribute. And it's a shame that they're not seen as people who can now actually have something to bring to the table. They do. And I think it's that other side of you, maybe that spiritual side of you, which you have never had a chance to explore, which suddenly now you begin to think about those things. What is life? Where am I going? Does this have any meaning? What does it mean? And I think that is something that has the potential of not only helping you, but helping everyone around you. So I think that, as I always say, cancer has good taste. It strikes the best. You have an example right here. So, right.
One of the things that I would like to pick up on something that you said, which is how people perceive you, right? When you tell people that you've been diagnosed with cancer or you've survived cancer, and I want to stress on the word survive. It's a word that Ananya takes exception to, and she talks about how it's not associated with any disease, any other serious disease, only with cancer, and of course the other thing that we associate it with is rape. And there's a tendency to either feel sorry for people or who are diagnosed with this, or to cast them as some kind of very courageous, valiant fighters. When the truth is somewhere in between. You're a little bit vulnerable and you're a little bit brave, and all those shades, of course, are in the book. But I wanted to start with your thoughts on that, and of course your thoughts on the word survivor. Sadia, maybe you'd like to start?
I don't have a serious issue with it, but yes, it does. I think it also stereotypes, in a sense, that somebody who's got this, who's really out with a sword and out on the battlefield, and really trying to conquer and survive, which is something where you have very little control. Actually, you do, in the sense of trying to have that willpower and everything, and friends keep saying you're going to fight it, and you'll be all right, but it also, like you said, if it happens to the best, it also takes the best sometimes. And so it's not really, but and the fact that it's just this, and rape uses these terms, I think we are better off without it. There's really no, there are other diseases which could be as fatal, as terminal, as anything. So it is, like I said, I don't have a very serious issue with it, but if you do think seriously about it, I think it is unnecessary.
Well, yes, I think there's been quite a bit of debate on whether this word is positive or negative. People have tried to substitute it with another word called thriver rather than survivor. So this goes on. I really don't have very strong feelings about it, but I hate labeling labels anyway. I don't like labels. And I think sometimes you use a label as a crutch too, and that is not very helpful. So I think that the advantage sometimes of having what they call peer support groups of people who are going through a similar experience is certainly there. And because you have something in common, you can share those experiences. And it's always encouraging to know that someone, the cancer I have now, there is someone who had it, say, 10 years ago before me and is now well, you know. So meeting that person, I think, can be really raises your hope and encourages you, and I think it's important.
I think what Harmala is doing is actually amazing, because I was in hospital in Medant, and twice when I was having my chemo, these women came and started talking, and they were young, middle-aged, but very cheerful, and kept telling me I'll be fine and what I was eating and what. So it was very, I swear, they all were apparently from her group, and so one of them, in fact, became quite friends, and she said, you must write a book about what you've done a food book, so do something on what to eat, and do something different, because people don't know what to eat, and especially tasty food when you are sick. So I think that really is very important, to meet friends and to meet people who've actually been through this and come out of it. And yeah, that's really very, very encouraging and gives one a lot of hope.
I hope to come back to more about the work that you've been doing, Harmala, but just sticking with this thing of survivor, one of the things that you told me earlier that really touched you about the book was the way in which she's been able to write about her vulnerability. And somewhere I feel, and this happens to women in general, but of course, people with disease or people who are battling adversity, it gets sort of heightened, where there's so much emphasis on being strong that somehow you start to feel almost guilty or weak for talking about vulnerability. What is it that in this book that struck a chord with you on this subject?
Well, I think there was a reading on this. Sunil read this, and it's really moving how people had these photographs of themselves before they had their chemotherapy and said, this was me, and this is the person I was. Ananya suggests maybe we should have these photographs pinned to us, just to remind people of the people we were. And so that's extremely touching. And I think it doesn't, the way people view you is very interesting, because just one word changes the way people look at you. They looked at you in a different way 5 minutes before this diagnosis. After that, it's almost like you're not the same person, but you are. You still have the ability to laugh, to do all the things you did earlier, but you're not expected to behave that way anymore either, because somehow you've crossed some kind of a line. And I think that's very unfortunate, because at a time when people need to feel cared for and to feel normal and feel they're going to get back to their ordinary life, they're more or less being put on one side. And so I think that there again, we need to be conscious of this. And I think it will happen once we normalize cancer. It's a disease like any other disease, an illness. We live with it. We are living longer and longer with it. It's like, as someone told me, you know what? I think I'd hate to have diabetes. I think it's much worse in many ways. So, they're all illnesses, and we face them in life and we carry on. Why all the drama around cancer necessarily? I think that's the question.
Yeah, a thought just came to me when you talked about the survivor. What I really don't like is when somebody dies and has that cancer, you say you lost the battle to cancer. And that's just always there. I mean, it's something that I never ever want written about me, even if cancer was the cause, because I don't want to be remembered as somebody who lost a battle to anybody, It's no battle. I mean, you can die out of a heart disease, you can die out of diabetic or anything. But why? I think it's just awful to always write. It's just such a cliche. Anybody who dies, said, lost her battle to cancer. I was there to lose a battle. You live, and you die. So that's it. So don't write it about me.
That's a wonderful thought. But one of the things that really shines through this book, and I'm sure you got a sense of it during the reading, is the humor. It's never out of place, but it's consistent, and it is just really redemptive. However, what Ananya does so easily could not have come very easily to her. And I wanted to kind of, Harmala, maybe you could take this question, and Sadia, you could add what you wanted to. But, the sort of mental health repercussions of going through a disease like this, going through an experience, a journey like this, often shrouded also in stigmatization and secrecy. What could be the potential mental health fallout of it, and does that often get ignored in the grand scheme of things?
Well, I think the stages are pretty well documented based on evidence. The fact that initially one goes through shock, then there's denial, there's anger, there's grieving, and finally there's acceptance. Some people don't find it that easy to reach acceptance, and they need some help. And I think that that's where we need good support systems to help people deal with that aspect. Some people just normalize slowly over time, having gone through these emotions, and often it's back and forth, not only for you, but the people around you as well. And so I think we shouldn't hesitate to ask for help. But what happens is, again, a stigma to any kind of talk of depression. So you feel, my God, now not only do I have cancer, but now they're going to say I have a mental disease as well if I go to see a psychiatrist. Yet it may be so important for you to go and see the psychiatrist, And I think that this is, again, another area where we should not try and prevent people from doing this and say, no, you're going to be okay. You don't have to do this. No, it's important. You need to do everything that's going to help you. And depression is there. We know that. Some people, yes, it's normal, it's natural, as Sadia was saying a little earlier. We all go through it. We get out of it. But some people do get stuck. Maybe they don't have the kind of support system they need or whatever. But we should be open, certainly, medically, to helping those people. And I think that brings up the point that cancer can never be treated by any one person. It's a team. And it's a team that has to keep growing, because a human being is not just a body. It's not just, as she says, dard. There's dukh. There's suffering. And the suffering comes from the psychosocial side. There's spiritual suffering. Suffering comes in many ways. And, so that side of yourself also needs to be healed. And I think we have to move from just talking about curing a disease to healing a human being and healing that person so that they can incorporate this particular event into their lives, make sense of it, and carry on.
I think Harmala has really articulated it very, very beautifully. And I can say I've been through all the stages that she said. I didn't know that they were actually have been documented. But yeah, there's shock, there's denial, there's anxiety, there's depression. And it's obviously helps to the family rallying around you, your friends. I was very lucky, very blessed, because I'm a Delhi person. So now I did put it on Facebook, and that I was going through this. So it was really amazing how my friends from school who I hadn't seen for 50 years and or maybe more. So friends from school, friends from college, and then somebody came to know and somebody came to know. So much so many friends came to see me. My relatives, I have a large family extended, that my son actually had to, start giving out appointments that, tomorrow 2 people, when my brother said no more than 2 people today. And this went on for months. And I think that really, really helped me, survive and the trauma and everything, because you just look forward to hearing these stories and having so much love around you. And my friends are actually still coming. I mean, Sunil comes every other day. I've known him for now, over at least 30, 40 years. and it brings the occasional salmon and various fish curries, and somebody's sending something and somebody's sending organic. So yeah, that I think it's a very, very important part is of battling depression, is having those that you love around you. And I must say that I also reacted in a way, I'm sure this is normal. I mean, Ananya doesn't really deal with death. She's more engaged with life. But maybe my effect or after effects of writing a book on Sufism and a real and having deep faith in God, I also felt that I was engaging, and I'm still engaging with death. And I don't think that's really something that one should shy away from. I worry what's happening to my books, so I'm making sure that I've given half of them are still there. I give him my clothes. I'm worried what will happen to my to some of my shawls and to some of my cut glass and my crockery. And so one also realizes, I think it's also time when you take audit of what you really have. Is there anything that you really still want to do? Are there people that you hurt? I've also reached out and said sorry to people. And so it's also decluttering your life physically, emotionally, and spiritually. I think sometimes I see that it can also be a blessing to know that that a reminder that yes, maybe not tomorrow, but down the road everybody has to go and your time could come any day. So you have to prepare for that and don't want to leave a mess. I mean, I'm very sure where I want to get buried, so I had to tell my brother where, and I've got the cloth from Ajmer Sharif which I want to be wrapped in, and I've kept that. I've told my son that. So there are also things that you don't want to leave unattended, whether it's to do with, like I said, with finances, with property, papers, with your books. You want to make sure that everything, as much as you can, finds their right place, and just like you will in the end.
Somebody mentioned to us, I think I'll this one question, and then somebody mentioned to us that when Ananya took on the project of writing this book, it gave her a new sort of fillip of energy. And when I heard that, I wondered if you had a similar experience, because after going through cancer, you decided to come up with the idea of CanSupport and then eventually Cancer Care India. If quickly you could tell us about how that genesis happened and what are the gaps that these organizations have been looking to fill?
Well, I think we're all creatures of meaning. And when something happens to us, we always think, why did this happen? Can I extract some meaning out of this? And for me, the meaning was so many people had helped me, and I in turn felt I needed to help others. And so that's really what started my attempt at starting support groups. I think I also realized that during the course of my treatment, that the medical system doesn't look at you, the person. They were far more interested in my tumor than they were in me. I always felt. I always had to remind them, hello, I'm attached to this tumor. I'm here. And I thought that was very unfortunate, because I needed to be recognized as a person, as a human being with problems. And that was, again, the starting point for me to start what I did, because I wanted people and I wanted the medical system to understand that they were dealing with human beings who had feelings, who had emotions, who needed to be dealt with gently. And so that has really been the effort. And what we are doing now, palliative care, 60 to 70% of people in our country come with very advanced cancers. They need ongoing care. And often once the medical system can't cure you, they kind of tell you, wash their hands off you. But there's always something you can do. And that's why I was drawn to starting home-based palliative care, so that we are able to help people journey on, and so that they don't feel they're alone. Because often, no words are needed or anything. You just need to know someone's with you and will be there with you right till the end. And that's what most of us need. We all need each other. She talks here about compassion and love being the connecting thread. And that's very true. That is the connecting thread for each one of us. It's sad that we have to go through this to understand that and to find it. There are few who find it anyway, who have the wisdom to know that. And so the work I do and the people who are involved in it, and there are some very dedicated and wonderful people involved in it, I think this is what keeps them going. The fact that they themselves grow as people, doing this work, seeing other people. It puts your whole life in perspective. You realize the things that you are always complaining about ultimately don't matter. And I think that's very helpful for anyone in their life, not to take themselves too seriously. Finally, we're all in it together. Life challenges you. You're learning all the time, and you have to make the best of what you have. And a good attitude helps. A good perspective, and whatever helps you, whether it's telling a story. You tell a story, or as I remember this 85-year-old woman told me, she says, I told death, I don't have the time for you. You're not on my appointment book right now. You'll have to take an appointment with me. So, this is life. We're all in it together. It's lovely to have a smile, have people come up to you, hug you, tell you that you matter to them. Ultimately, that's what it's all about.
And of course, to remember Ananya's words that a day of life is still life. I don't think we have more time. Do we have time for questions from the audience?
No, I think we...
Sorry?
One or two maybe.
Over.
One or two maybe? Okay. Any comments or questions from the audience? We have time, as Renuka's told us, for one or two maybe. Yes, please.
Now here is a sister who has lost two sisters in this disease. I would like to say only one thing. The type of the cancer matters a lot. Luckily, the breast cancer survivors are much more and have less tough fight. Unfortunate ones go before the time. But those who have pouch of Douglas, that is rarest of rare, or the cervical, which is rare, is very painful and very difficult for them, and it is 3.5 years. And they 3.5 years for them to live every single moment with life, with unfinished job, as Sadia is saying, the small kids, their own life is very painful. I would like to ask you, since you're working in this field, do you also consider this, the type of cancers in women and their difficulties along with it? This is not only psychological pressure, the social pressure of unfinished task is greater than them. When they leave at the age of 45, 46, it's very painful for them.
That's true, which is why I think we have to think cancer prevention. We have to think of our lifestyles. Today, for cervical cancer, we have a vaccine, the HPV vaccine. So that's going to be a lifesaver for women with cancer of the uterine cervix. For breast cancer, your ability to live depends very much on the size of the tumor you have, the kind of tumor you have. So there again, we need to go for those checkups regularly. We neglect to do so. We neglect our bodies until something goes wrong. That's the problem. You see? Yeah. And what we must be conscious of is this body is a very precious thing. We need to look after it. And after the age of 35, whether you have a symptom or not, you need to go for a checkup. And if you are a smoker, you're using tobacco, well, you need to be conscious of the fact that you are in a higher risk than others. So I think to a large extent it's in our hands. If we live a more healthy lifestyle, we make ourselves aware of what increases our risk, and we, go for regular checkups, we can catch it early, and hopefully it will then be much more treatable.
I'm afraid we're sorry.
Sorry, Renuka, before, I've been told this is all we have time for. Thank you very much, Sadia, and thank you, Harmala, and thank you for listening to us. Over to you, Renuka.
Pleasure.
Thank you, Pragya.
Thank you very much. So we're very privileged to have with us Himanshu Bajpai Dastangoi from Lucknow, who will just give a brief performance. We just need a few minutes to clear the stage for him, and he'll be with us. Thank you.
सबसे पहले तो ये कि आज एक ख़ास दिन है, ये किताब आवाम के बीच जा रही है। मैं जो काम करने के लिए यहाँ हाज़िर हुआ हूँ वो असल में परफॉर्मेंस नहीं है। मैंने तय ये किया था कि मैं इससे कुछ हिस्से याद करके और उसे अपने अंदाज़ में सुनाऊँगा, लेकिन ये जब मैं डिस्कशन सुन रहा था और जब मैं यहाँ था मौजूद और इस पूरी प्रोसेस में, मुझे ये लगा कि आज के दिन किताब से पढ़ना, दरअसल इस किताब की अज़मत को तस्लीम करना है और इसे आपके बीच पहुंचाना है, क्योंकि ये दिन किताब का है। मुझे कुछ बातें ज़रूर करनी हैं कि आम तौर पर जवान मौत का तसव्वुर शायरी में बहुत हसीन होता है। कई बार उन लोगों के लिए भी होता है जो इस मौत में मुब्तला होते हैं, लेकिन ये जो हुस्न है जवान मौत का, ये मौत की राह की उन तमाम जद्दोजहद से बनता है। मसलन हम मजाज का बहुत नाम सुनते हैं कि मजाज बहुत कम उम्र में नहीं रहे। उनका एक शेर बराबर कोट किया जाता है कि मौत भी इसलिए गवारा है, मौत आता नहीं है, आती है। शिव कुमार बटालवी अपनी एक कविता में कहते हैं कि जवां मरगी जब होती है, जब शायर जवान मौत मरता है तो वो फूल बन जाता है या तारा बन जाता है। तमाम शेर मौत पर हमें मिलते हैं उर्दू शायरी में। कैद हयात और बंद गम असल में दोनों एक हैं, मौत से पहले आदमी गम से निजात पाए क्यों। मौत एक मांदगी का वक्फा है, यानी आगे चलेंगे दम लेकर। जिंदगी क्या है अनासिर में ज़हूर तरतीब, मौत क्या है इन्हीं अज्जा का परेशान होना। ये तमाम चीज़ें हैं हमारे आसपास, लेकिन ये किताब जब हम पढ़ते हैं, इस किताब को जब इम्तियाज़ भाई ने मुझसे कहा कि ऐसी कोई किताब है और जब इसका रस्म इजरा होगा तो आप कुछ सुनाएं, हम ये चाहते हैं। मेरे लिए एक ज़ाती निस्बत ये थी कि मेरे बहुत अज़ीज़ लखनऊ के बहुत उम्दा शायर निर्मल दर्शन इस वक्त 4थी स्टेज के कैंसर से जूझ रहे हैं, मेरे बहुत अज़ीज़। तो मुझे लगा, मैं बहुत उन दिनों परेशान था, मुझे लगा कि शायद इस किताब में उस दर्द से निजात का कोई वसीला हो मेरे पास। तो ये सोचकर मैंने ये किताब पढ़ना शुरू किया। लेकिन जब मैंने इसे पढ़ा तो मुझे लगा ये वो किताब है जिसे बांटा जाना चाहिए, तकसीम किया जाना चाहिए लोगों के बीच। और मुझे लगा कि मैं कितना गलत था अपने अंदाज़े में, कि मुझे लगा कि मैं पढ़ूंगा किसी और तवक्को से। निर्मल दर्शन की बात आई, मैं उनके क़िस्से से मैं इस किताब की जो कैफियत है उस पर आऊँगा। निर्मल दर्शन को जब कैंसर डायग्नोज हुआ तो उनसे डॉक्टर ने कहा कि आपको कैंसर निकल आया है। बहुत ही अफसुर्दा, खुद डॉक्टर अफसुर्दा हो गया। मैंने सुना कि डॉक्टर बड़े बेनियाज से रहते हैं मरीज़ों से। निर्मल दर्शन ने फ़ौरन उन्हें जवाब दिया, कैंसर तो मुझे निकल आया, अब मैं कैंसर से कैसे निकलूं, ये भी तो बताइए। वो डॉक्टर हैरत में था कि ये क्या इंसान है, इसको फ़र्क ही नहीं पड़ा, 4थे स्टेज का कैंसर, बिस्तरे मर्ग पर है। वो डॉक्टर कुछ नहीं बोला। निर्मल दर्शन ने उसके कंधे पर हाथ रखा और उससे बोला कि मुझे तो कैंसर निकल आया है, मैं भी इससे निकल आऊंगा। लेकिन उसके बाद उन्होंने एक शेर कहा, खुश तो हूं मरने से लेकिन ए दुआए मुस्तजाब। दुआए मुस्तजाब ऐसी दुआ जिसे मांगा गया और जो मुकम्मल हो गई हो। खुश तो हूं मरने से लेकिन ए दुआए मुस्तजाब, एक जरा बेवक्त ये अरमान पूरा हो गया। तो मेरे लिए अनन्या की ये किताब मेरे अपने ज़ाती गम का मदावा है। मैंने आपसे कहा कि मजाज ने शेर कहा, बड़ी धूम हुई कि मौत भी इसलिए गवारा है, मौत आता नहीं है आती है। मजाज ने यह भी कहा कि मेरी बर्बादियों का हम नशीनों, तुम्हें क्या खुद मुझे भी गम नहीं है। लेकिन मजाज की मौत के बाद उनका जो गैर मतबूआ कलाम मिला, उनमें एक क़ता ये भी था कि ज़िंदगी साज दे रही है मुझे, सहरो एजाज दे रही है मुझे, और बहुत दूर आसमानों से मौत आवाज़ दे रही है मुझे। मैं कहना दरअसल ये चाहता हूँ इस पूरी बातचीत में कि जैसा कि अभी बातचीत में भी आया कि हम ये मान लेते हैं कि कैंसर किसी को हो गया तो अगर वो लड़ाई लड़ रहा है तो वो बहुत अपने आप में विजेता है और वो एक बहुत महामानव के, ठीक है वो, लेकिन उस पूरी राह में उसके सामने हज़ार तरह के रंग हैं। उसके सामने अपनी मायूसियाँ हैं, उसके सामने अपनी निराशाएं हैं, उसके सामने हार है और हार के फिर लड़ने की एक उम्मीद है। तो ये किताब अनन्या की ये हमें ये बताती है कि किस तरह पत्थर के ऊपर एक फूल खिल सकता है, किस तरह तेज हवाओं में एक चिराग जल सकता है, और किस तरह गम के अंधेरे के बीच, मायूसियों के बीच ज़िंदगी मुस्कुरा सकती है। तो ये किताब मैं इसमें से एक हिस्सा पढ़ूंगा, और आप देखिए कि अंग्रेज़ी में तो मैंने इस किताब को दोनों तरह से पढ़ा है, हिंदी में और अंग्रेज़ी में। इस किताब की ख़ास बात ये है, अब ये हो सकता है कि ट्रांसलेशन की भी सलाहियत हो, लेकिन मुझे लगता है कि ये इस किताब के खुलूस का जादू है कि ये जिस भी ज़बान में पढ़ी जाती है लगता है कि उसी ज़बान में लिखी गई है। जी, मेरी ज़िंदगी का बड़ा हिस्सा दिल्ली में गुजरा है और पति का साथ होने के बाद ही मैं जयपुर में रहने आई। ये शहर मुझे कभी जचा ही नहीं। इस शहर के प्रति प्यार जगाने के लिए मेरे पति ने बड़ी कोशिश की, पर कुछ भी कारगर नहीं हुआ। उन्होंने मुझे बताया कि इस शहर की एक बड़ी उपलब्धि सालों साल रही है कि इसका खुशी का माप देश के सभी नगरों से ऊंचा रहा है। मैंने कहा कि ऐसा लगता है इस नगर की खुशी इसी में दिखती है कि ये रुकी हुई, बंधी हुई नगरी है। मुझे यहाँ की गलियों के नाम अच्छे नहीं लगते। मैंने उन्हें बताया, इमली फाटक, जलेब चौक, झोटवाड़ा, झालावाड़, झालाना डूंगरी, मोती डूंगरी, कैसी भयानक सी ध्वनि है इनमें। इन्होंने प्रत्युत्तर दिया, तुम तिमारपुर, मायापुरी, मुनरिका, मसूदपुर को क्या कहोगी? मुझे महानगर अच्छे लगते हैं, मुझे बड़े नगरों की धड़कती नब्ज भली लगती है। ग्लैमर, लालच, अवसर, हिंसा, पागलपन और अराजकता। दिल्ली, गुड़गांव, मुंबई, कोलकाता मेरे लिटमस टेस्ट में पास हो चुके हैं। बेंगलोर मुझे संदिग्ध लगता है। ये सुसंस्कृत, हल्ली, शराबखोर, व्यस्त आईटी हब के बीच का मिश्रण है। मुझे दिल्ली बहुत याद आती है। इसकी सर्दियों की कोहरे में लिपटी देसी सुंदरता, इसकी झुलसा देने वाली गर्मियां, बरसात में लबालब होकर टूटते इसके कगार, शहर के अमीरों के घरों की हरियाली, गरीब घरों के मटमैले रंग और इन दोनों के बीच के लोगों को घेरे पीली सी रंगत, जैसे कि डूबती सूरज की रोशनी वाले डीडीए फ्लैट्स। यहां की जनता का अक्खड़पन, खिड़कियों की सिलों पर बैठे कबूतरों की बेनूर सूनी आंखें, इस नगरी के चरित्रहीन लोग, ढीले ढाले नैतिक मूल्य जहां सीमा का ख्याल नहीं रखा जाता, अपराध बोध से मुक्त, बिल्कुल मेरी तरह अनेक गलतियों के बावजूद आत्मसम्मान के साथ खड़ी और अभिमानी, साथ ही जब कुछ चाहिए तो गिड़गिड़ाती हुई सी और अंततोगत्वा अपने जहर और कड़वाहट भरे धुएं में अपना ही दम घोटती हुई इस वहशी नगर से मेरा तादाद में बैठता है। बदले में अपना सब कुछ देकर ये वहशी नगर मुझे प्यार करता है। इसके आरामदायक कोने, इसकी रहस्यमय उत्तेजनाएं, इसकी झूठी चमक, इसकी गंदली अपराध भरी जिंदगी, इसकी चालाकी भरी मुस्कान, इसका रक्त, इसका मांस, इसकी मज्जा, सब कुछ। दूसरी ओर जयपुर है, सुंदर और शांत नगरी है, नैतिक मूल्यों वाली, भले समझे जाने वाले मूल्य, पारिवारिक मूल्य, संयुक्त परिवारों वाले मूल्य, पुराने संगी साथी जो परिवार के सदस्य भी हो सकते हैं, आपको स्थिर रखने वाले या कि जंजीर में बांधने वाले, बंधा हुआ, जैसे कि किसी फार्म पर कोई जानवर जिसकी दृष्टि भी सीमित दायरे में ही देख सकती है। ऐसा ना हो कि आप चरते हुए दूर निकल जाएं, उपद्रव करें, दूसरों की चीजें मार लें, विनाश करें। जयपुर का राज्य महिला कमीशन का ऑफिस पशुधन विकास बोर्ड के बराबर में है। ऐसे में संयोग का कुछ तो अर्थ निकलता ही है। यह नगरी मेरे लिए जतन से बनाए गए कारागार की तरह है। ऐसा गुलाबीपन जो सिर पर ही चढ़ जाए। इसके बाजारों की अनावश्यक उत्फुल्लता, जहां जाओ वहीं इसके दम घोटू गुंबद, पिलर्स और हवेलियां। इसकी पुरातनता में एक धमकी जुड़ी है, सदा परिपाटी पर चलो और रूढ़िवादी बने रहो। ये नगरी वैवाहिक संबंधों की दम घोटने वाली सलामती का प्रतीक है। जो तुम नियमों का पालन करोगी तो तुम्हें योग्य और सद्गुणी महिला का दर्जा भी दिया जा सकता है। अपने विवाह के प्रारंभिक दिनों में काफी दिनों तक मैं इस अंकुश के तले भयभीत रहती थी। मुझे लगता था कि यह जानबूझकर किया जा रहा है, अब यह अकस्मात ही हो रहा है। तो मैं ये सोच रही हूं, यहां से मैं अब किसकी बाहों में जाऊंगी? जो मौका मिले तो उनीदी सुरक्षित जगह, एक धुंधलका भरी नीली रंगत जो थपक थपक कर मुझे सुला देगी, या फिर वो जाना पहचाना नरक जो किसी मक्कार, भयानक और बूढ़े प्रेमी की तरह मुझे निरंतर उन्माद की स्थिति में पूरी रात जगाए रखे। आपका अंदाजा भी उतना ही सही होगा जितना कि मेरा। भारी भरकम आवाज वाली मेरी एक दोस्त रविवार की सुबह मुझसे मिलने आ जाती है और मुझसे कहती है कि योलो आजकल चलन में है। और मैं उसकी तरफ असमंजस से देखती हूं। वो चिल्लाकर कहती है, अरे तुम्हें योलो नहीं पता? इतवार की सुबह पेड़ पर उनींदी बैठी चिड़िया फुर्र से उड़ जाती है। कुत्ता चिहुक कर पूंछ ऊंची कर लेता है और गर्मा गर्म चाय मेरी गोद में छलक जाती है। पर इन सब से बेखबर वो बताती है कि योलो का मतलब है यू ओनली लिव वंस। आपको जीवन बस एक बार मिलता है, इसलिए तुम्हें जिंदगी को किंग साइज में जीना चाहिए। जो अच्छा लगे वो करो और कोई पछतावा मत रखो। अपने नए नए ज्ञान से समृद्ध हुई मैं अपने साथी को भी टेस्ट करना चाहती हूं, ठीक अपनी दोस्त की तरह। एक प्यारी सी शाम थी और पति टेरेस पर बीन बैग पर विराजमान थे, आंखें मूंदे, धीरे धीरे पेट थपथपाते हुए। मैं उनके कान में चिल्लाती हूं, योलो। वो मुझे हिकारत की नजर से देखते हैं और अपनी सीट कुछ आगे सरका लेते हैं। कैंसर के चलते मैं इस बात पर एकाग्र होकर सोचती हूं कि मैंने अपनी जिंदगी ठीक से जी कि नहीं। मैंने अपना जीवन योलो जिया या नहीं। पाती हूं कि मैंने सदा अपने निर्णय स्वयं लिए, जीवन को जैसे चाहा वैसे जिया, अनेक गलतियां की और सब स्वेच्छा से किया। मुझे सदा सब कुछ गुजर जाने के बाद ही बुद्धि आई। सबसे बढ़िया बात तो यह है कि मैंने कभी किसी और को दोषी नहीं ठहराया। जो भी परिणाम आए उन पर मैंने अपने प्रति काफ़ी दया, स्नेह और क्षमा भाव से खुद को भरा रखा। बस मुझे यही एक पछतावा रहा कि जैसी थी वैसी बनी रही। यही जाना कि कुछ न जाना है, सो भी एक उम्र में हुआ मालूम। पता नहीं कि मैं इस यायावरी की प्रतिलिपियां हुआ करती थी, बटर पेपर पर बनी हुई, सहेज कर रोल की हुई और लॉकर्स में सुरक्षित। 30 साल की उम्र तक अच्छी नौकरी और अच्छे रिश्तों से युक्त सधी जिंदगी। 35 वर्षों में स्वयं का घर, 40 से पहले बच्चे, पौधे और पालतू जानवर। उनकी 10वीं वर्षगांठ के 3 टियर केक की फोटो टीवी के पीछे वाली नीली दीवार पर, जहां उसे सब देख सकें। इस ढर्रे में खप सकने का अरमान होने पर भी मुझे जल्दी ही पता चल गया था कि मैं यायावर हूं। ठहराव से मेरी आत्मा घुटती थी। रोजमर्रा की जिंदगी मुझे उबा देती थी। यायावर लोग बड़े दिलचस्प होते हैं और वे आपको अपने साथ बहाकर नई दुनिया में ले जा सकते हैं। उनका साथ उत्तेजक, चुनौतीपूर्ण होता है। गो कि कभी कभी लगता है कि वो डूब जाएंगे, पर ऐसा कम ही होता है। हाँ, उनमें एक कमी होती है, वो टिक कर नहीं रह सकते। वो बटर पेपर पर प्रतिलिपि बनाकर उन्हें चिरंतन काल के लिए सुरक्षित नहीं रख सकते। बुरा न माने, पर उनमें स्थिरता नहीं होती, संचय करने की कला नहीं होती। उनके पास टिक कर मजबूती से एक जगह जमने की कला नहीं होती और नहीं होते हैं थैला भर समझौते और दुनियावी निश्चितता। कैंसर की कई कायाकल्प शक्तियां होती हैं। कायाकल्प शक्तियां। लगता है इस रोग ने मेरी आत्मा की चिरंतन बेचैनी को ठीक कर दिया है। लगता है इस कैंसर ने मेरी आत्मा की चिरंतन बेचैनी को ठीक कर दिया है। इसने मुझे टिकना सिखाया है, लंगर डालकर, जकड़ कर रहना सिखाया है, कैंसर की तरह। ये कैंसर का प्रभाव नहीं लड़की, उम्र का असर है। पति अतिरिक्त टिप्पणी करते हैं। जीवन की आपाधापी में कब वक्त मिला कुछ देर कहीं पर बैठ, कभी ये सोच सकूं जो किया कहा माना उसमें क्या बुरा भला। जिस दिन मेरी चेतना जगी मैंने देखा मैं खड़ा हुआ हूं इस दुनिया के मेले में, हर एक जहां पर एक भुलावे में भूला, हर एक लगा है अपनी अपनी दे ले में। यूं बाहर की रेला ठेली ही क्या कम थी, जो भीतर भी भावों का उहापोह मचा। जो किया उसी को करने की मजबूरी थी, जो कहा वही मन के भीतर से उबल चला। जीवन की आपाधापी में कब वक्त मिला कुछ देर कहीं पर बैठ, कभी ये सोच सकूं जो किया कहा माना उसमें क्या बुरा भला। शुक्रिया।
Well, if you haven't been convinced till now, I think Himanshu ji's performance would have convinced you that this is a book not just to read but to keep. And both it is available in both Hindi and English outside. As I've mentioned, the proceeds of this book will go to two very deserving causes, so please buy generously. I'd like to now just ask Shantanu Bhasin to come up and give the vote of thanks. And on behalf of Speaking Tiger and Rajkamal Prakashan, I'd like to thank our panelists, Harmala, Sadia, and Pragya, Sunil Mehra for his reading, and Himanshu Bajpai for his very brilliant performance. Thank you.
If Ananya would have been here, she would have looked at this August gathering and told me, तुमको रियलाइज़ हो गया होगा तुम कितने लकी हो, तुम्हारी बीवी इतनी खूबसूरत इतनी इंटेलिजेंट भी है। और मैं उसे शायद धीरे से बताता कि ज़्यादातर लोग यहाँ पे मेरे रिश्तेदार हैं। Unfortunately, Ananya is not with us today. I feel a little bit of depression, a lot of jubilation, but above all, I feel immense amount of gratitude for all the friends and family members who are here with us today. Big thanks to Ravi Singh, Renuka Chatterjee and Speaking Tiger for publishing this book in English. Thank you Ashok ji, Satyanand Nirupam ji and Rajkamal team for publishing this book in Hindi. Thank you very much Urmila ji, Prabhat Ranjan ji, Dr. Mridul Bhasin, my mother, for the wonderful translation in Hindi. Thank you Kausar Jahan ji for the Urdu translation. Special thanks to Sadia ji, Harmala ji and Pragya Tiwari for taking time from their busy schedule and for the insightful discussion. Piyush, is he around? You have selflessly devoted yourself to this project. Thank you so much for the wonderful illustrations. Evening became all the more special because of the wonderful rendition by Sunil Bhai and the wonderful performance by Himanshu Bajpai. Last but not the least, Imti, who took this project up like his life depended on it, who kept us going when depression and self-pity was taking over us, who brought us all together, and may I say, made this all happen. We are all here because of you, Imtiaz. I'm not going to thank you because mere thanks is not enough for what you have done. Thank you all of you for being here. May God bless you all. Thank you.